Welcome to our Wednesday, September 28, 2016 edition of the Government News Brief. In the news, Guyana receiving support from the Bank of Montreal to develop oil and gas industry. The Ministry of Communities is replacing the 1,000 Homes project, and the Ministry of Social Protection and NGOs in Region 6 plan to address social ills affecting the region. Stay tuned for the details. Thank you for staying with us. I am Renetta Lafleur. The Bank of Montreal is the most recent to lend its support to Guyana towards developing its oil and gas industry. More in this report.
Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman says the presentation today by the Bank of Montreal looked at a range of financial impacts that could come with the oil and gas sector.
The Bank of Montreal has reached out to Government of Guyana about 2 months ago, asking to be able to give a presentation on the financial side of the oil and gas industry, the ups and downs of the market, financial services that are available, and we agreed to have them come.
Members of the Subcommittee on Oil and Gas and stakeholder ministers in the sector were present at the financial presentation of the Marriott's Hotel. Trotman says other initiatives to help guide the sustainable development of the new industry have been planned.
Next month we're going to be having a workshop, next month, on, again, the financial part of it. And so developments are taking place. We're working on finalizing legislation and honing our efforts.
Following the discovery of large oil reserves by ExxonMobil in 2015, it is estimated that within 5 to 7 years, Guyana could begin producing oil. For this Government News Brief, Namila Henry Rowe.
Collaboration between the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, NDIA, and the National Community Development Council is providing employment for hundreds whilst cleaning and beautifying Linden. Kidaki Amsterdam has that story.
Assistant Director of the National Community Development Council, Sandra Adams, says Linden is reaping multiple benefits from the collaboration with the NDIA. According to Adams, more than 600 residents found temporary employment trimming edges, debushing land and clearing drains. Over the last month, Adams explained the agency has partnered with the NDIA to bring relief to almost 30 communities, including South Amelia's Ward, Retrieve Industrial Area and Cinderella City. Meanwhile, agricultural engineer at the NDIA, Ramesh Juku, says the presence of the NDIA in the mining town is in response to a call by farmers and residents for help in the areas of drainage and irrigation.
In Linden, we have 2 machines. We have a mini DX63 and we have a Tucson, and in West Watuka farming area, we have the machine clearing both sides of the canal to bring relief to the farmers in terms of drainage and irrigation. In West Watuka, we have we can say about 50% of the work completed.
The NDIA is working with the local authority and community organizations to bring relief to residents affected by clogged drains in several other areas of the mining town.
Working in the Comac area, we have some slight flooding going on right now. So we're trying to rectify that issue. And in Wizrock, in the residential area, the mini machine is digging some of the drains.
Improved drainage and clearing of land could encourage more agricultural activities in the Linden area. For the Government News Brief, I'm Tiffany Rogers.
The Ministry of Social Protection and NGOs in Region 6 plan to work together to address social ills affecting the region. More in this report. Minister of Social Protection Valda Lawrence has reminded persons of their responsibility in helping to prevent suicide. She called on persons to stop taking family and domestic problems lightly. At a meeting yesterday with representatives of the religious community and NGOs, the minister noted that the breakdown in family values is responsible for most of the social issues in the region, especially suicide.
Suicide has not just dropped from the sky. It's not a disease. It's not the influenza. but we have a serious problem across the length and breadth of our country. It is called dysfunctional families. What has happened to our family system? Parents and family members making joke off of it. Am I lying? They call it tantalize.
Minister Lawrence says her ministry is willing to work along with the NGOs to address all the social issues plaguing the region.
The Ministry of Social Protection, coming out of this meeting here and my conclusion in the region on Thursday, will put together a team from TANE and some of you represented here so that we can have a regional discussion with the town council and the ministry as to the prerequisites.
Representatives at the meeting notes the lack of jobs as one of the contributing factors contributing to the social problems in the region. Representatives also asked what they can do to assist in arresting the situation. Region 6 is plagued with many social ills including suicide, teenage pregnancy, alcoholism, drug abuse, and domestic violence. Region 6 has recorded the highest suicide rate in Guyana, accounting for 30.9% of suicide deaths over the last 5 years. For the first half of 2016, reports show that there has been 26 suicide attempts with 6 deaths. Renette Lafleur for the Government News Brief. Government will not be moving forward with its 1,000 homes project. In this next report, we hear about plans to replace this project as the administration strives to make housing more affordable for all Guyanese.
The Central Housing and Planning Authority, CHPA, will not be moving forward with the turnkey projects. According to the minister within the Ministry of Communities, the land allocated for this project will be used to construct apartment buildings, duplexes, and condominiums.
This government is not going to continue that 1,000 home project in its current form. And now we're refocusing. We're looking at apartment buildings. We're looking at duplexes, which is the 2. We're looking at condominiums, 3 and 4 levels. From our design, the condominiums would have like 8 apartments on each floor. So we do 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms.
The 1,000 Homes project in Providence was officially launched in 2014. However, beneficiaries have been making numerous complaints about the poor standard of work and inferior fittings used on the houses. The Housing Authority has since hired a new project manager, Kennard Dazel, who examined the houses and made recommendations on additional works needed to rectify the faults.
On the 1st of September, we employed a project manager specifically for that project. The first phase of 200, 141, currently in construction. The project manager, it was widely in the media of the problems that we encountered with that project. And you would know, this is no news now to the people, that many of the houses, the 59 that are already occupied, they currently have problems with, you have curb walls cracked, windows dislocated. In some cases, you have where the veranda of the house is moving away from the building.
Minister Patterson says that works have begun on the homes and 6 of the houses have already been completed and handed over to the owners. The remaining 141 houses, which are currently under construction, will be completed by December 15th. For the Government News Brief, I am Delicia Haynes.
Over 1,500 drivers were arrested for breaking traffic laws since the launch of Operation Safeway. The Government's News Brief sought the reaction of the public to the campaign.
Operation Safeway was launched on September 15 to help stem the growing road fatality rate. Private sector worker Tanya Charles and Myconi resident Claire Seeley welcomes the campaign.
I think it was a really good idea. Whoever thought of it, thanks and good luck.
Yes, it's a good effort.
Since the launch of Operation Safeway, the Police Traffic Department has made 1,546 arrests. 567 were for speeding and 96 for driving under the influence. Minibus driver Joe Charles believes that it is time that police arrest drunk drivers and drivers who speed.
So it's good that the police clamping down on them with this drink driving and the speeding, you know what I mean? Because the speeding is dangerous.
Another citizen, Sherwin, says the police are doing a good job, but they need to be more strategic in addressing drunk driving.
If they're going to address the issue with drunk driving, they have to be more strategic because drivers also drink during the day.
Meanwhile, Melvin Fernandez is confident that Operation Safeway can be successful once it is implemented properly, but enforcement is not enough.
I think as road users, what is necessary is licensing. The licensing process that is there right now need to be checked properly, because you find many young drivers are getting on the road with license and they're not fully qualified. They don't know anything about the Road Traffic Act. They don't know anything about the highway code, but they're licensed.
Henry Armstrong believes that discipline is needed by drivers and pedestrians to reduce the growing road fatality rate.
Without we don't have any discipline, we don't have no Safeway.
At the time Operation Safeway was launched, the road fatality rate was 96, and that figure continues to climb. More than 200 police officers across the country are part of Operation Safeway. The police recently acquired radar guns and breathalyzer kits and other traffic equipment to boost the campaign's efforts to reduce road fatality. For the Government News Brief, I am Delicia Haynes.
We have come to the end of today's edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on GINA's website. GINA has an active Facebook page, and we encourage you to visit and like us so you can be informed as the news unfolds. Do join us again tomorrow for another edition of the Government News Brief. Until then, I am Renetta LaFleur. Thank you for watching.